Why is the media regarded as the fourth realm of the state? And why are you seated watching the television right now? The answer is clear. Information is knowledge, and knowledge is power. It has become the thin line between life and death. This is NAPTIP on the Move, and I am Emmanuel Okeke, glad to have you join us. The Public Enlightenment Department of NAPTIP has the duty to keep the general public informed on the issues of human trafficking, domestic violence, and child abuse. In the discharge of its duties, it focuses on preventing new cases and also to deter existing and intending offenders. On this episode, we will explore current trends that are of concern to the agency. Don't go away.
Charged with the responsibility of producing and disseminating information communication materials, the Public Enlightenment Department of NAPTIP is always abreast of happenings and new trends relating to the agency's mandate.
The trends we've noticed that it's not a gradual spread now. It's an annoying seepage, so to say, of trafficking into areas that nobody ever thought of. The statistics that NAPTIP has shows that states that were ab initio, not part of what we call very endemic state, have become endemic. And it's shocking to say the least that states like Kogi State, Anambra, Imo, Abia. Initially, the epicenter was the Edo, and you have Edo, you have Delta, you have depending on the dimension. The dimensions, I mean internal and external. But now, the evacuation that we did, that federal government did, shows that every state is endemic, and that is scandalous. That is not acceptable. And this has triggered a response from NAPTIP. The agency, what the DG has done, DG is now doing letters to all the state governors to, one, accept the fact that this is a clear and present danger. One child is enough. We are not going to wait until the number increases 30 before we begin to do something.
Labor migration is another trend the agency is determined to sanitize.
The growing incidence of labor migration to Middle East. And there are lots of fraudsters, there are a lot of scammers who arrange these things to scam Nigerians and to defraud them of their meager resources, all in the bid finding them jobs in Dubai, in Bahrain, in Qatar, and all these areas in Saudi Arabia. Aside from the other existing ones like trafficking of children to the Holy Land for begging. Okay, so these are the things we've noticed, which the agency also, as in partnership with the Federal Ministry of Labor and then the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, is addressing. We are trying to work out a pact. We are trying to work out a memorandum of understanding, because the tendency is not to stop Nigerians from seeking greener pastures, but the tendency is not to allow Nigerians to walk into a trap where they are abused, where they are molested, or where they eventually will lose their lives.
Widespread adoption of the Violence Against Persons Act of 2015 is encouraged to curb rising incidents of child abuse and domestic violence.
We're thankful to states that adopted the Violence Against Persons Act, states like Lagos and Anambra, and we say kudos to what the governors have done, because these are violence against persons. And we ask all the states, I'm begging all the state governors who have not done that to please adopt the Violence Against Persons Act. As far as Violence Against Persons Act is concerned, the same attention that is given to TPA Act is the same attention and the same commitment and the same push that we're giving both at the same time, because at the end of the day, these are issues that border on human rights of persons. So what we're saying is that please, not anymore. Spousal battery is not allowed anymore. Those who, at the slightest provocation, smash properties belonging to their partners or whatever, that is not allowed anymore. Those who deny their spouses whatever, throw them out, and they deny them sustenance or upkeep, you think that's allowed? The law frowns against it. And you will get merited justice when you flout these laws. Ignorance is not an excuse. It might pain you to, I don't know what kind of indigestion it will give you to notice that the greatest abusers of children in Abuja, in FCT, where this law is been enforced right now, is women. Women are the greatest abusers of children. Our statistics, I actually challenge every woman to come to NAPTIP so that you will see. It's not a gender thing. And I don't know the reason.
The prevalence of defilement, rape and incest, coupled with the silence of mothers who are expected to condemn such acts, is of grave concern to the agency.
It's so heartbreaking that fathers are abusing their daughters and there's an increase. It breaks my heart that even mothers under their watch allow these things happen, or pretend that these things are not happening, or are not a little bit careful enough to watch these things and make sure it doesn't happen. Even when they do, there's a wicked tendency by them to make sure it's swept under the carpet. Incest is not allowed by any way, any standard, any culture. But it's on increase. And you see them making excuses that I didn't know what came over me. The only thing that will come over you is the hands of the law will catch you, you will be put away.
A story of a father molesting his own daughter in the Buari Area Council of Abuja is one of the current cases being handled by the agency.
We receive all sorts of reports here, but there are some that you receive, begin to ask yourself, where is this coming from? There was a case that we got, but it was first of all initially reported to the police. A case of a man that was abusing in Buari, that was abusing the daughter. And what happened? When the report was made by a good Nigerian, the woman went to the police to ask that there was no such thing, that he knows the daughter. That thing couldn't happen. Okay? So, but fortunately, the person who did the report was a class teacher who the girl went and narrated her experience for the 4 years the father has been abusing her. And the woman wanted the case because of the husband. So at the end of the day, when we spoke to her, he said, how can that happen? How do you want that to be said about my husband? And that my husband is a pastor. The man is a pastor. That is why the girl should have that rubbish done to her. It shows you the totality of what our children go through every day, even in their own homes. It's our responsibility to shield them from this. If the point of attack is now in the home, then we're losing it as a people, as a culture, as a society. NAPTIP is empowered to protect any child, and it behoves you, as anybody listening to me and watching me, to call NAPTIP. Our hotlines are going to be on the screen. So call NAPTIP. When that child does not belong to you, but you owe it as a responsibility to save that child because of whichever fate you share. Save that child from that environment.
The agency has come up with new innovations to curb such instances.
What we're doing right now is that we're developing IC materials. By that I mean information communication materials. And the British High Commission, the British government is supporting NAPTIP by production of jingles. We are building the capacity of teachers so that let them be friends with the students. Where they spend an average of like about 8 hours, are friends with the children, and it's happening because we receive reports from schools, calling us, come, we saw this child, he has body marks, he has all this, and we'll go and take the child. We're using the churches. We're speaking to the Catholic Church, the Anglican Church, these critical nuggets of information because they need it. Let them know that, one, it is not, I don't want to use the word business, but Nigeria is changing, the laws are there, and you'll be caught and you'll be brought to justice for your crime, even for your crime against your own child.
The Director, Public Enlightenment Department of NAPTIP, Arinze Orakwe, has a word of advice to parents and guardians.
As a parent, you must watch your child. We're asking mothers, look at what your children do. Who are their friends? Please look, because we're losing our children. We're breeding a set of people who do not understand there are limits and there are thresholds not to cross. That is what we expect of parents. How can we be so busy enough that we are not even friends with our children, that they can't even tell you what is happening to them? That's an increase. It's simmering, and it's gradually seeping into our society like it's becoming a culture.
NAPTIP is poised to eradicate human trafficking and all forms of violence against persons. Do your part. Report suspected cases to NAPTIP today.
Human trafficking, popularly known as modern-day slavery, is very much with us, even in this 21st century. It is a crime against God and humanity. You may be thinking, this message is not for me. Think again, because if you are paying your employee through an agent, you are a trafficker. If you employ a child under 12 years as a domestic worker, you are a trafficker. If you abduct a person against their will, keep and exploit them for monetary gains, you are a trafficker. If you promise international jobs with the intention to exploit the victim sexually and for cheap labor, you are a trafficker. If you buy and sell human organs, you are a trafficker. There are so many components of trafficking with devastating effects on the victims. This victim may be your daughter, son, brother, sister, mother, or father. Let us be our brother's keeper. Join hands with NAPTIP to stop human trafficking now.
Report cases of human trafficking to these NAPTIP hotlines: 0703 00 203, 080 02 255 627847. NAPTIP, empowered to protect you.
NAPTIP event is next. Stay with us. Adam Safer of Gateway Development International, a DFID consultant, and his team recently visited the agency's headquarters in Abuja.
We are leading a project that's funded by the British. And what Made One did, the first part of this project, which was 4 or 5 years, was really focused mainly on agriculture. And it really was looking at job creation primarily, and primarily focused on youth, but not exclusively. And that warranted a follow-on. And the follow-on project is doing more of the same, but there's a component of the Made 2 project that I'm leading that is focused on Edo State. And it's an economic growth project. It's trying to create aspirational jobs for women and youth in Edo, with the expectation that this will be an alternative to being trafficked.
Welcoming the team, the Director General of NAPTIP, Dingley Okadanli, responded to the issues of victim empowerment.
Because of what is going on now in the world, because this is a global problem, and in Nigeria in particular, we've decided that it is very important that before we start to empower Nigerians to prevent them from being trafficked, we have to sensitize them and change their mindsets.
Behaviors.
How are we going to go about this? We're going to organize seminars, workshops, and all of that in the communities where most of these victims are taken from, not even in the urban areas. And not just sensitizing the victims that in girls and boys, but to also sensitize their parents, because most of the parents are just ignorant. They really don't know what is going on. Now, in terms of empowerment, we have realized that it is always important to engage the victims and tailor these empowerments, to suit their personal needs. Otherwise, at the end of the day, that's not what they really want to do. So we need to engage them one-on-one. What exactly do you want to do? So that's the strategy we're adopting here in NAPTIP, and that's what we always encourage people to do.
She also reassured of the agency's support.
One of our 5 Ps is partnership. We welcome partners all the time, and we work with so many partners, NGOs and all of that. There's so much to do in terms of sensitization, billboards, flyers, town hall meetings and all of that. We can also partner in areas of giving information to NAPTIP, information on trafficking, violence and all of that, and we can prosecute, because P is prosecution, which is one of our areas as well. So yes, we are very happy to partner with you in all of this respect.
Partnership is one of the agency's cardinal strategies in the fight against human trafficking. Abubakar Umar, an indigene of Sokoto State, and Rukaya Isa from Zugu in Republic of Benin, were arraigned by NAPTIP for assisting and facilitating the activities of persons engaged in the acts of human trafficking from the Republic of Benin to Sokoto State, an action which contravenes Section 13, Sub 4, Sub C of the Trafficking in Persons Prohibition Enforcement and Administrations Act of 2015. The presiding judge, Honorable Justice Rilwan Muhammad Akawa, found both defendants guilty of the charge and subsequently sentenced each of them to 1 year imprisonment with a fine of 100,000 naira each, effective immediately. The Director General of NAPTIP, Denjidi Akadanli, recently received a delegation from the Northern Youth Council of Nigeria, led by its Vice President, Ambassador Gambo Abubakar Mohammed. He commended the Director General and recalled some of her achievements as it relates to the activities of his organization.
We are here today, one, to keep a date with posterity, believing strongly that this agency play a very, very important role in the life of this country. We are here today also to solidarize and encourage the agency that indeed we are aware of the multitudinous activities and programs this agency is carrying out in order to leverage and liberate the youth of Nigeria from the scourge of trafficking that have beset not only Nigeria but the world over. So it is part of the reason why we are here today, that we are indeed proud of the activities of this agency and would wish to partner with some of the activities of this organization in order to spread the news to youth across Nigeria that there is no way what you are looking for in Sokoto, like the popular saying goes, is here in Sokoto.
He then presented an award of excellence in recognition of her hard work in safeguarding Nigerian youths.
I, on behalf of the Northern Youth Council of Nigeria, present this award of excellence presented to Barrister Julie Okadonli, the Director General, National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, as Garkuwa Matasan Ariwa.
The Director General of NAPTIP then responded.
I'm very happy that you're taking care of the 19 northern states, including the FCT. This is quite a very large number of youths, if you ask me. And with the sensitization programs, I'm sure it will go a long way. I want to thank you most sincerely for giving me this very serious title. And I can assure you I will guard it very jealously.
She also shared new trends in human trafficking and called for the youths to preach love for the nation.
The victims of trafficking now are coming from the states, the northern states. These criminals that call themselves travel agents are now deceiving fresh, young, innocent girls from Kano, Zamfara, Niger State, Katsina, from the northern states, Kaduna, Kebbi. They are taking these girls to destroy their youths, young girls, under the guise of taking them as house help, nurses, take their organs, kill them, and commit all sorts of atrocities on these girls. This sensitization program, I want you to really help us to make sure you sensitize these 19 northern states, the youths and their families, because the mothers and fathers, they are releasing these children to these criminals because they don't know. They are deceiving them that they are going to have a better life. I heard that for each girl they are paying $50. So they tell people, go and bring girls. I want to give them jobs. If you bring one girl, $50, $50. If you're taking these girls to give them good jobs, why do you have to pay $50 to procure them? So please, I need you to look into this area very well of sensitization. It's very, very important because this is a clear case of child trafficking and human trafficking. You also need to also preach love for Nigeria. Nigeria first. Everyone must believe in Nigeria.
Fostering healthy partnerships is a major strategy of the agency in the discharge of its mandate. Coming up is a victim's first-hand account. Keep watching.
I'm from Akwa Ibom State. I stay at Enugu with my auntie. I was house help for her. I was taking care of her daughter, staying with her, helping her. She's working at bank, while her husband is a manager in one kind of hotel. So I was staying with her. She sent me to school till I reached primary 6. So there was a man, his name is Michael, that came to our house and said he wanted to rent one flat of room in our house, the same compound with us. So when he came, he's the same state with me. As a language brother, my auntie welcomed him. So when the man now said that he wanted to park inside the house, he came. There was nobody at home, only me and my auntie daughter that was there. So when the man came, the man asked me I should help him to sweep a room. So when I helped the man to sweep the room, after I finished, he now asked me I should help him carry a foam inside the room. After I dropped the foam, I wanted to went out. Then the person now tell me I should wait. Please, I should come and help him dress the bed. After when I finished to dress the bed, he was there. Then he now asked me whether I have known anybody before. That is, whether I have known any man before. And I told him, why did you ask me that kind of question? He now said he's just asking. Okay, after that, I now said I want to go out, that I have to make food for my auntie daughter to eat. So he now dragged me on the bed. He now slept with me. I didn't tell my auntie. So it was when I now went to school. One of our teachers now called me. He now asked me whether did I know that I was pregnant. I told her that I don't know, but I've not been seeing my menses. Then she was asking me the question. I answered all of them. Then she now asked me I should wait. She now informed our headmistress. I now tell our headmistress. Then our headmistress now called NAPTIP. I now explained everything. So I now came back to shelter.
For more enquiries and support, or to report cases of suspected human trafficking and child abuse, please call NAPTIP hotlines on 0703 0000 203 or 0800 2255 627847 or email info@naptip.gov.ng. Visit our website www.naptip.gov.ng. Follow us on our social media platforms at NAPTIP Nigeria and watch our videos on YouTube.
I hope you've been enlightened. Dante Alighieri, in his famous poem, The Divine Comedy, stated, and I quote, "The hottest part of hell is reserved for those who in time of moral crisis preserve their neutrality." End of quote. So, shun the culture of silence and report cases of human trafficking, domestic violence and child abuse to NAPTIP. you may be saving a life and your soul from eternal damnation. Thank you for watching, and do join us again next week. I am Emmanuel Okeke. Goodbye.